Hello, and welcome back to my backyard, my dude. We're gonna be talking about quite a huge fucking topic. It's proper body jewelry, and I'm not talking about just the shape of the bar or anything like that. I'm talking about the actual metal. I constantly am getting messages about what they're putting in their body, and later on I get more messages about how it fucked up their body. So I thought I would save you the headache and tell you about what pieces of metal should be in your body, basically. It is a topic that really does peeve me. I'm very passionate about piercing and quality and, making sure that the customer is actually happy with what they get and that they are safe, because you do not want people having infected piercings or fucked up shit because of certain metal that they didn't get in their face or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm concerned because piercings are getting more popular. So I thought I would tell you guys which metal you should actually be putting in your body. I'm also going to be giving you guys some websites that you can go to online that have good body jewelry, and I'm also going to be telling you the websites to stay away from, because I constantly see YouTubers talking about these shitty fucking companies. But in all seriousness, I hope somebody or anybody, mostly everybody, I'm really hoping for mostly everybody, soaks in this information. I know some awesome ass people in my community that already have some bomb ass jewelry. Fucking love seeing that shit. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just get into it. But first I'm gonna go ahead and explain some metals before I talk about my experience with shitty metals, because if I talk about the story, you're not gonna understand anything that I'm talking about unless you actually know the grades. So let's get into that. Sterling silver. Do not know why people still use this. I know it was like a popular thing to shove in your face when, like, back in the day, and then people started noticing like the little blackness around their, piercing, and their flesh was getting tinted, and they just they couldn't get rid of it. It was from sterling silver. Sterling silver is just a giant mess. It's nasty. Stay away from it. Please, there's nothing good I can even say about that shit. We're going on to the next grade. Now, another thing that seems to dupe a shit ton of people is surgical stainless steel. And I'm talking about 316L. Oh, this one is probably the one that's most commonly used, and it is still shit. If you look at it, like, the machine just leaves terrible grind marks and scratches all over the metal. With this one, this one peeves me a lot, dude. People always say, it's fine. Once the piercing's healed, I could put this in my body. Like, it doesn't matter. It will probably destroy your piercing, whether if it's healed or not. Most of those pieces of metal are externally threaded and not internally threaded. You want that internal shit, dude. So you can definitely tell the difference. Internal is not gonna destroy the actual piercing hole. You definitely want to do internal, but I'm always trying to pressure the grade of metal as well, because it does matter a lot. Because you can get internally threaded with this shitty grade of metal. So don't be bamboozled by that, please. Actually, really look at the metal. But I would mainly say, if you see external threading on any kind of jewelry, you probably just want to run for your life. It's really bad. And also the choices for tops on the bars, it's gonna be limited, It's gonna be limited, and the balls are gonna be big and bulky, and it's not gonna be seamless. It's not gonna be good for, inserting the jewelry, nothing like that. Yeah, at the time that I had cheek piercings, I was using externally threaded. So every single time I would change it, I could seriously feel the piercing getting shredded from inside from this fucking jewelry, and I feel like people are like, oh, that's normal. It's not. What you're feeling is not normal. Make sure you are always using internally threaded, because then that shit just glides right through. You basically have no problems with it, and you can feel the difference. It's crazy how different high grade body jewelry feels compared to this shitty 316L stainless steel shit. It's bad. It's so obvious because it looks constantly dull. the like shape or the print or the design isn't even clean. It's like just blobby and it's just fucked up. I really don't like it. It looks bad. It's bad for the body. I could go on for hours about it. I'm trying not to, but I'm pretty sure you guys get my point. It's not something that you should put in your body. And I know I went on about this longer than the sterling silver. It's because I know a lot of people have it and a lot of people are thinking that it's good just because the name. And then we have acrylic, which I hate acrylic. It's like, I would honestly put acrylic right next to sterling silver. It's so bad. And there's like a lot of other grades out there that are like mystery metals, and I could go on about it for a really long time telling you like not this one, not this one. I'd rather just tell you which ones to put in your body now. ASTM is definitely something you want to look for when you are looking at metals and grades. The American Society of Testing and Materials, they check for quality, safety, and they check the elements that's in the metal. If the metal is not, graded by them, you don't even want to be near that. Okay, these are the things that you want in your body. We'll start with this one first. ASTM F138 stainless steel. Now, this is the stainless steel that you should be putting in your body. I always recommend titanium to people or higher grades than that, just because when you do stainless steel, there is some nickel in it still. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to have an allergic reaction to this, so titanium is usually the best one, but this is a grade that people do approve to put in the body, so you could do this, yeah. ASTM F136 titanium is the titanium that you want to put in your body. Now, I love titanium. Most of my pieces, almost all of them, are titanium other than the gold pieces. It doesn't really have nickel. It's highly resistant to corrosion. It could be anodized. It's a little bit stronger. It's mostly a piece that will last you longer, is what I'm saying. And you can do more with it. Niobium. This is a fun one, and I really, really love niobium. It's just nice and slick, and it's pure. Oh, it's so nice. The only thing is it's hard to shape, and over time the threading will have some problems. Like if you're constantly threading it on and off, it'll have some problems, but it's still really bomb for the body. I really love it. I always wanted to get a piece of niobium, and I know this will also catch a lot of people's interest. It can be anodized as well, even a little bit better than titanium, I believe, but it could also be black. Yes, I know a lot of people like cheaper metals because they are black, they're coated black. Niobium, you can make that shit black, and it's beautiful. Now, I don't really need to talk about gold, but this is the gold that you can put in your body. I have a couple pieces of gold myself, nothing for my face, of course, but for my ears, I have some gold pieces, and they feel so smooth and just great shit. Gold is beautiful. Nothing bad I can really say about it, but just make sure that you do get the right kind. Now, those are all the grades I'm going to be talking about. I know I could go on for hours and hours of, metals that you shouldn't be putting in your body, but I'd rather just tell you guys metals that you should be putting in your body. So those are the metals that a lot of great companies recommend. Believe me, I was definitely one of those people that just didn't really think it mattered that I got good metal in my face, but it does really matter. It's a very, very big thing with piercing, to make sure that the jewelry is perfect. Jewelry is like a whole nother world of piercing. I swear to God, it's so big. There's so many things to talk about with it, but I feel like the metal grade is a really big thing to talk about nowadays. I'll let you guys ask me on Twitter if you had any questions about proper body jewelry. If you want to ask me anything, my Twitter is down below. I do Q&As often about topics. Someone asked about stacking. Basically, stacking, it's a little bit complicated. I know this video is about metals and stuff, but it is still like body jewelry related and proper like the proper stuff. So I will talk a little bit about it, but I think I'll do another video on jewelries, like sizing and all that shit. But basically, go to your piercer. Doing yourself, you will probably come up with the stacking combination that looks like shit. Make sure you go to a APP piercer and say, I want my septum to have some stacking. Say how many rings you want. Say the size gauge of your septum that you already have, or whatever piece that you are stacking, whether it's your septum, your ear, or whatever. Just let them know. They'll give you a lot of information. There's a lot that you can do with stacking. It's best just go to your piercer for that. So I'm sorry that I can't give you a complete answer on that, because if I tell you the measurements for mine, my septum is very different from a lot of people's septums, obviously. So if I gave you my measurements, it really wouldn't do you any good. You would get the size piece for my nose on yours, and yours is probably smaller. So yeah. Now this one will be a long one. Somebody asked, what are the brands and companies to avoid, and what are the brands and companies to look into? I do like this question because it does have a positive outcome. The ones to avoid, the list goes on and on, but with the metals that I told you to avoid earlier, it should be pretty fucking easy to know what websites to avoid. First off, before I talk about anything about ordering online, make sure you know your actual sizes before you order online. And all the brands and companies that I'm going to be telling you, you have to go through a piercer to order these pieces, because the companies probably don't want people with the wrong sizes ordering from them, because they're just going to get a bunch of complaints like, oh, it wasn't the right size. That's because most people don't even know the proper size. So wait until your piercing is healed and go to your piercer and be like, bitch, I want some good shit. So they'll give you what you want, sizing and everything. But the companies to avoid, and I know a shit ton of YouTubers talk about these companies, and I think it's so disgusting. Like, why would you tell someone to put a piece of plastic in their face? It's nasty. Body Candy, avoid. Crazy Factory, avoid. Blue Banana, really fucking sketchy. Claire's, Hot Topic, Custom Plugs. I have had them contact me a million times, and I finally asked them, okay, sure, yeah, I'll do a body jewelry haul for you, and they didn't even know what fucking grade of metal that they used, and I was like, what the fuck, like, no. KS Factory Shop, Urban Body, and BM25. The shops to really fucking avoid: Crazy Factory. They don't even list the grade of metal that they use. They don't even list like anything. Like, what the fuck is that? And then KS Factory Shop doesn't do that either. It's very, very weird. The one that I want to talk about is Body Art Forms. There's a lot of shit on there that is nasty and disgusting, but Body Art Forms does have like ANATOMETAL, industrial strength, and some pieces that are nice. Like I said, there's things to look out for. It's an iffy site. I would basically say, no, maybe, sorta, not really, you know? Now, things to look out for when you're on these websites. Look at the grade. If it's coated. If the coating is only $1, run for your fucking life. You can just stop it. Look at the threading. If it's not good threading, you should probably run for your life as well. Now, I'm going to talk about some companies that are amazing, and these are all my favorite companies for body jewelry. ANATOMETAL, that's like basically all the jewelry that I have. I do have some industrial strength as well. They're amazing. Neometal, Maria Tash, Leroy, Tampa, I can never say that right. Gorilla Glass, Diablo Organics, and BVLA. If you are a baller, you probably shop for the BVLA. Somebody asked how to know if it's shitty. So if you're actually seeing it in person, like I said earlier, the coating, the threading, the polish, the setting stone will also tell you a lot. Here is a picture of a shitty setting. And then here is like some good pictures of like some really nice setting stones. You can tell the difference, you know? Someone asked, old body jewelry. Do I keep in old body jewelry or do I toss it? I personally like changing out my body jewelry every now and then, you know, having a piece of metal in your body for a long time where things get a little bit nasty. You probably want to change out the metal. I personally will change it out at least once a year or more if I just get bored of the set that I have in my face. Now this is gonna be probably the biggest thing in this entire video. I know a million people are gonna be in the comments like, it's too expensive. Like, okay, let me explain something first. The question, okay, before we get to that, the question is budget friendly. All right, let's get into this. People will spend $30 just going out to lunch. People will spend thousands on a watch or a necklace or, hey, a fucking pair of ears. Somebody will spend $40 on a pair of ears or, you know, all this stuff. You can get a really shitty piece of metal for $5 and it fucks up your piercing within a couple of weeks. Or you can get a nice piece of metal that can even be around $10, maybe $15, $20 for the basics. And it can last you, I don't know, years on years on years. It just doesn't make any sense, especially when it's going inside your body and destroying it and destroying the piercing. You shouldn't have that in your body. Even if it's $5, it's not worth it. You're gonna have years of trouble with the piercing, mattering on how long you keep it in, and you can get plenty of scarring from having troubles from the jewelry. Just put in like $5 more and get a $10 or $15 piece of jewelry that's like super basic. It's such a simple thing to do. People spend plenty of money on food or Starbucks drinks, anything like that, and it could easily add up to a nice piece of jewelry. A lot of people think like nice jewelry, usually piercers will show the really nice pieces like the $300 piece that goes in your navel and it's just beautiful and it has genuine stones in it and it's just nice precious metals. Because it's nice to look at that. You know, basic pieces are nice, you know, it's clean, it's simple, it's good. Not all pieces are gonna be in like the 300 or the 4,000 range. There are gonna be some basic pieces that range from 10 and up. But you can also get some really cheap and sketchy places that will overcharge you for shitty pieces of metal. Just because something is around that range doesn't mean that it's good. Like I said, pay attention to the flags, the red flags, the threading, the coating, the polish, you know, all that stuff. Like, pay attention to the numbers. Don't go to any sketchy websites. Please pay attention to that. It's very... It's so hard to me, like, why someone would put, because people spend so much time and money into like hair, makeup, all these little things, but yet when it comes to piercing and putting a piece of metal in their body, they don't care. Like, they just want the cheapest thing out there. People need to care a little bit more about their body. I don't understand why they don't. They'll just like shove any piece of metal or thing in their body. It's sad. And then I got a shit ton of questions that involve this wording, just the bar. And by just the bar, I'm talking about when people are saying, oh well, just the bar, like if that's a good, you know, body grade piece of metal and all that shit, like I should be fine, right? And the answer is no, because the end, believe it or not, is attached to the bar, and if it's attached to the bar, it touches the piercing. So if you have acrylic, that oh so nasty thing, or any shitty metals, it's still gonna come in contact with the piercing. Now, acrylic, there's holes in it, there's a shit ton of imperfections, it's gonna be dirty like 24/7. Cheap metals, sorry, are probably gonna be the same way. When you have external threading, there'll just be like crusties around it of just bacteria hanging out right there, and it's so bad and it's so disgusting. Whether the piercing is healed or not, it's still gonna be a problem. Like I explained earlier, external threading can still fuck shit up. Having acrylic ends or rubber balls or shitty metals or crappy stones set in place on the end of the bar can still mess it up. It doesn't matter if just the bar is touching the piercing, because obviously the end's gonna touch it too. It's still a problem. Make sure the entire piece is just perfection. Not only that, but if it's just the bar that is gonna be perfect, that bar is not going to thread with any of the shitty ends, because those shitty ends aren't made for something that high quality. You're just not gonna find it, you know? It's not gonna fit. So you already have a problem right there. So just make sure the entire piece is nice for your body. It's not that hard to get a nice piece. Like just a simple labret piece with like, I don't know, opal or something, and it's titanium. I don't know, 20, 25, somewhere around there. It's not that bad. And that piece lasts forever and it looks gorgeous. The stone doesn't fall out. The metal won't corrode. It'll always look perfect, and it's gonna be it's gonna last so much longer, and it's overall gonna look better. I mean, there's so many pieces that I can show you constantly of like shitty shit and good shit. Like it's obvious at some point, and just put a couple more dollars into a simple piece of metal. That's all I'm saying. And that's basically the end of this video. If you have any questions, you go ahead and ask down below. I'm gonna have all the links and credits to everything down below, or it was on screen. Also, I really want to point out Pangea Piercing has plenty of more detail on the metals and jewelry on his channel down below. So definitely go there if you're interested more about piercing and information about it. And also I wanted to say that I'll probably be making a video about sizing and all of that stuff in a different video. I only talked about metals really in this video. I didn't really talk about like glass, wood, or stones or anything like that. I just wanted to talk about the grade of metal. I do love glass and woods and like horn and all of that. It's all very nice, but I'm not really gonna get into that. Jewelry can really change how the piercing looks, so. That was probably a lot of information to soak in, but I really hope you guys will take in some of that information and think about your body and your piercing, and just be kind to your body. That's all I'm saying. But that's it for today's video. I hope you guys are having an amazing day and journey, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Yo.